guys, my name is Jessica, this is Jagger, and today I'm going to show you how to cinch up a Western saddle. Now there are two kinds of girths that you can use on a Western saddle. One uses a buckle to attach your latigo, which is this piece. The other kind does not have a buckle. It just has a ring that the latigo is run through and then a knot is tied. Now I'm not familiar with that knot. I've never been taught it. I don't know anyone actually who uses it. But I'm told that it is very common in other parts of the country. And some of those people have never used the buckle. So I want to show you guys how the buckle can be used. So you've got two kinds of latigo also. This is a nylon latigo. You'll notice it's very slippery. You want this if you're using a buckle. The leather latigo will not slide well, and I also feel that it puts a lot of bulk underneath my leg. Now if you were going to tie a knot, then my understanding is that you would be better off with the leather latigo because of the fact that it will stay better. It won't slide undone like this one will. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the latigo, I'm going to reach under and grab my girth. Now you'll notice that this girth has a ring here, there's a tongue, and this particular girth has two slots here with rollers. Not all of them are made that way, but I do prefer it. I find it's easier to cinch my horse with that being there. And the rollers especially, I feel, make it a lot easier. So the first thing you're going to do is run your latigo through. Now if you didn't have these two slots, you would just use the one slot that was available. So you'll run it through once, make sure it's straight. The number of times you're going to have to run this back through will vary based on the size of the girth and how it fits your horse. With him, it usually takes about 3 loops. Now my second loop, I'm coming back again through that top slot. On this last pass, I'm going to come through the bottom slot where the tongue is. Now I don't want to girth this horse up too quickly because that makes the horse irritated. It gets them to where they become cinchy and they become unpleasant when you're trying to girth them. I wanted to girth him up slowly. So I'll tighten this to some extent, then I'll walk him around a little bit. I may even get on him and ride him a bit and then get off and I'll check it again. I'll check it at least one more time before I get on, and then usually once after I've been on a few minutes, especially if I'm about to go to a barrel race or do something where my saddle might be more prone to slipping. So at this point, what I'm going to do is tighten this enough that I can get the tongue into one of the holes. You can see, I hope there's a hole here. You're just going to take the tongue and put it in that hole. Now you don't want to leave it like this because this can come undone. See, it's undone. You have to tighten this, and this is very important for your safety. Come up here to your last layer of latigo and you pull it out. This tightens the tongue against the girth buckle, and this is where you now have stability. Now this is not as tight as I'm going to want it to be, but eventually when it is tightened all the way, I'll be able to run this latigo back up here to this latigo keeper to keep it out of the way. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and do my back girth up. You don't have to have a back girth, especially if you're not going to be roping or, you know, different cattle type events. Some barrel saddles really do well with one, some don't really need one. But I do like one. I do think that it adds stability to my saddle. If you use one, make sure it is not too loose. This is still a bit loose right here on him right now. Also make sure you have a hobble strap connecting the two girths, because those two things will keep the girth from sliding back into the horse's flank and upsetting him or possibly making him buck. So now I've let him breathe for a minute. I'm going to see if I can get this up just a little bit more. I have had this saddle on him for several minutes now, so normally I would give this a bit more time. So I'll snug it up about one more hole. And because I know that he's relaxed and he's not bloating right now, I'll probably go ahead and ride like this for a few minutes before I reassess it. I'll take this back up. I'll run it through the latigo keeper. I'll do up my little girth cover here. That's just because I am using a neoprene girth here. Neoprene can gall a horse, which is to cause sores, but if you cover it with fleece, that doesn't happen. I generally would always tell people to use a mohair girth because they don't gall and they breathe better, and I just think in general that they are better girths. This particular horse has an allergy to mohair, and he breaks out when you use it on him, and he swells all over his girth. So in his case, this is what I've gone to rather than some of the other options. You could also use a cotton string girth. I'm just not fond of them. This seems to work really well for him though. So guys, this is how you would buckle your girth, and I hope that that makes it clear to the people who aren't familiar with it. I don't know how to do the knot, so if someone wants to send me a video back showing me how to do the knot, I'd be more than willing to watch that. I personally feel like this is more secure. The knot does not seem secure to me. And also I feel like it's going to put a lot of bunched up leather underneath your leg. And I don't personally like that. But if you've got something else to show me how to do it that alleviates those issues, I'd love to hear from it. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and thank you. And I'll see y'all again.